For 5 months of 2025, this man has fooled the Zimbabwean people, the international media, and the international community by creating the impression that he was given a mandate by the military of Zimbabwe to rally the Zimbabwean people to rise up in an Arab Spring style type of protest to overthrow Emmerson Mnangagwa. And if indeed the protest did not remove Emmerson Mnangagwa, he created the impression that the military of Zimbabwe would remove Emmerson Mnangagwa from his position and we would have a new leader within a day. But for 4 months, he's been trying to undertake these spontaneous protests and they've been failing. And the military of Zimbabwe has not risen up to remove Emmerson Mnangagwa from power as this guy had promised. So yesterday, he came and did a live video as he usually does, but this time he sounded defeated, despondent, and in many ways he was desperate. He made a number of confusing and contradictory appeals to the military of Zimbabwe. The first appeal he made is that the military must rise up to overthrow the president because the president was contravening the constitution and the president has lost his mental faculties due to dementia. Then he went on again to appeal to the very same military to talk to the president so that he can fix the country. It was confusing because in one moment he's saying that the president has lost his mental faculties due to dementia, and in the next moment he's saying that the military should speak to the president and appeal to him to fix a number of things that are not okay, as if the president has the mental faculties that are required to fix the country. It was also really confusing to hear him seemingly saying to the military, why are you letting all these things happen? Yet initially he created the impression that he was sent by the military and the military would act in how they agreed. He then began to lament the fact that he is now in exile and no longer stayed in Zimbabwe, all because he was asking for the president to do the right thing. Geza sounded like a confused man. Because in one point he's saying, we removed Robert Mugabe and we put in Emmerson Mnangagwa and we will remove him as and when we feel like. But at the same time now, he's appealing to the military who he seemed like he was working for, asking for them to undertake a coup and asking them why they haven't undertaken a coup. Well, one thing I can guarantee you is that this man does not care about Zimbabwe, because he's asking for the military of Zimbabwe to undertake a coup, which is a contravention of SADC rules, AU rules, UN rules, and international law. If the military of Zimbabwe was to undertake a coup against the Zimbabwean government, they would have broken international law and they would be sanctioned and isolated by SADC, the AU, and potentially even the UN, and those would be legal sanctions. It doesn't make sense how anybody who says that they want to fix Zimbabwe would ask for the country to undertake action that could eventually lead to legal sanctions on the country. Yet we all know that the things that they are complaining about, that they feel Emmerson Mnangagwa is not fixed, were caused by 24 years of illegal sanctions by the United States. The reason Zimbabweans are not getting good health care, reasons Zimbabweans cannot get basic services from their government is because of illegal sanctions that were imposed by the United States and the European Union that were then removed after the United Nations said those sanctions were illegal. And knowing that, now Blessed Geza is asking the military of Zimbabwe to break international law through a coup so that they can be isolated and sanctioned through legal UN, AU, and SADC sanctions that will see more Zimbabweans become refugees in South Africa and more Zimbabweans suffering. He is asking for the military of Zimbabwe to commit suicide and get sanctioned in a manner that they will not be able to fix what it is that they say they want to fix, in a manner that will find them also being overthrown by a coup in the way that we've seen endless coups in West Africa, because military men go take power, get isolated, get sanctioned, and fail to deliver any services to the people. So they eventually have to start suppressing and shooting their citizens because they've destroyed the country through sanctions. He doesn't care about the country. And SADC leaders must ensure that in whatever country Geza is living, he must be arrested for calling for treason and anarchy in his country and deported back to where it is that he came from. How can this man call for a coup that will cause sanctions that will destroy the country, and then he runs away to go and stay in a foreign country? What is also interesting about Geza is you could see that he kept looking away from camera, reading the posters that are being written by the masters that are asking him to undertake this process. And of course, you can almost see that he's reading placards that are written for him. And I assume they are written by Xavier Kasukuwere, Walter Muzembe, and probably Trevor Ngube, who are trying to tell him what to say, because those are the people that are hoping to change power through undemocratic means in Zimbabwe. Geza must be arrested, brought back to Zimbabwe to answer for the charges of treason and also trying to cause chaos in the country.